Hey there, Christian here. It is June 20th, 2017, and it's been a while since I've made one of those videos where I guess I'm just vulnerable to the topics, and it's just something sensitive and something I don't talk about a lot. So, one of the things that I've been thinking about as of more recent is biological children and what that means to me, and maybe the importance of that or not. Everybody has their own opinions. These are my opinions, my feelings. I just speak for myself. And I think one of the things that was really hard for me when I decided to transition at the time in my life that I did was I felt like I was sacrificing having biological children, or at least having them at that time. When I started testosterone, my doctor asked me, what's more important, starting testosterone and transitioning, or starting a family. And at that time, I was not ready to start a family, and I really wanted to focus on myself. And to focus on myself and to be the best me I could be, to feel good about myself, and to feel like I'm moving forward in life, I think that's really going to be the key to my personal happiness. So that's what I chose to do. Now, I did decide within myself at that time that having a biological child, myself, giving birth as a trans man, is something that I was and am willing to do if the circumstance presented itself. There have been several times throughout my transition in the last 3 years where I stopped testosterone because I really wanted to try to have a child. But life takes its own turns, and that's okay. Sometimes what I think I should be doing and then what life thinks I should be doing are just two different things. And I think what I really wanted to share with you on that is not just the fact that I would be okay carrying a child, because I really think that even getting through all the dysphoria and everything, I feel like the outcome would be worth it. And if I were at a time in my life where I could do that, it might be something that my wife and I would look at. But we're happy right now, and we're content. And I think that's cool. I think it's cool that I do feel that way, because a month or so ago, I did stop testosterone and kind of wanted to look at my wife and I expanding like our family. Instead of as foster parents, you're kind of raising everybody else's kids, and maybe some stay and maybe some don't, and maybe you want some to stay, maybe you don't want some to stay. And so I was just kind of feeling like her and I needed to focus on ourselves and our family. But circumstances have changed, as they do, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that. The one thing that I struggle with is just the loss of not having a biological child. And my wife asked me, do you feel like you're missing out on something? And, maybe there are some times where I think I am, something that we are missing out on together. But if that's not what God has in store for us, then that's okay, because it's not always about me driving the vehicle. Sometimes I got to sit back and be a passenger and see where life takes me, because it's been taking me to some pretty good places. So I just have to be content and trust that I'll be led down the right path, and that's definitely what I believe. But I'm not going to go have a hysterectomy right now. I don't feel comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with the fact that I'm not going to carry a child yet. I'm not okay letting go. And that, for me, out of this whole process, obviously, 3 years later, is still my biggest struggle, is just not having that opportunity. Some would say you gave up that opportunity when you transitioned, and I just don't believe that, because I believe that I can do whatever the heck I want. Yet it's still just, it's going to be a loss for me, and it's going to be a process for me to go through, if that's not right for us. And I could see definitely where our life is kind of headed right now, that adding to our family is going to be crazy. So, and I'm okay with that. But still, it's just a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. So that kind of leads me a little bit into my faith, which is something that I have not talked about in 3 years in my videos, is my faith, because I just feel like it's really personal. I don't want to be judged on it. I don't want rude comments about what I believe. But I grew up Christian, and I struggled a lot when I was a teenager as far as just being a lesbian, because at that time in my church what I was being told was, being gay, you go to hell and it's wrong, and I just didn't understand as a teenager how my feelings, for another person who happens to be the same sex, same gender, can be wrong, because love is love, right? It's just, that's not how it was at that time. And so I really did struggle hard with my faith versus what I was really feeling and believing. I didn't ever feel those things towards boys that I dated in high school. And so I just didn't really believe that God made me wrong. I don't believe that. I don't believe that God makes mistakes. I believe in God, and I believe that He made me the way that He wanted to make me. And I believe that everybody's journey is unique, and we get taken down different paths for different reasons. And along the way, I do feel that God led me to this path. He was showing me how to feel right with myself, how to feel whole, how to be genuinely happy and complete as a person. And so I don't believe that, transitioning leads me to hell. I don't believe that. I can't believe that. I can't believe that God makes mistakes. I just don't. And I had a friend who I grew up with in the church who told me all about how I was wrong, and God made me a woman, and that's what I was supposed to be, and I'm making a mistake, or I'm wrong and going to hell. I don't remember all the words. I just know that it made me feel awful, and I shut this person out, and I just kind of said, screw you. You don't like it? There's the door. And when I went to therapy after that happened, my therapist was like, that wasn't quite what I would have done. But what was done was done. And looking back here, 3 years later, lots of experience later, lots of discussions and things like that. And I wish I could have respected that somebody had a different opinion. But I kind of felt like I was being crucified. And I feel like, at the end of the day, I am going to live my life how I see fit. I'm not doing any harm to anyone. I'm not doing harm to myself or others. I am happy and healthy. I really am. And I can't believe that that's wrong. But I do wish I could have just kind of said, is there a way to get past this? Because I've stuck it out with family who we've not agreed on, and I look at the amazing relationships that have been created out of all of those really difficult times. I mean, we're talking 2 years of just crap, trouble, just hard times to get through with each other, hard conversations, or saying we can't talk about this anymore, I love you but I can't have this conversation again, or I am a he, my name is Christian, please get it, and I stuck it with the people that I loved and the people that loved me, and I wish I could have done this, in that situation, just because I think it would be interesting to see how we could have maybe grown past it and maybe not. But I just know now I don't shut people out like that. But it was a really sensitive time, and hearing those things just wasn't what I wanted to hear, I guess. But anyway, my whole point is that I do have a strong faith, and my faith is what gets me through every day. Every day I listen to inspirational music on the radio that lifts me up and carries me through. And truly, when I started this journey that I wanted to be the healthiest, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and I nailed all of them. I'm so happy that I did. It's not that it didn't take time, hard times, happy times, sad times. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm at a time in my life right now where I think I'm going to be able to focus more on, being transgender and being out more and trying to get into the community. I know I've said that before, but this time I really can see it possible for me, and it's exciting. 3 years later, I feel like a whole new rejuvenation about being transgender. It's just, there's so many stages you go through. It's crazy, the journey and the roller coaster, but it's not just a roller coaster like with everybody else, and those physical changes and things like that. It's a total roller coaster with being out and proud, wanting to blend in, wanting to share your story with everybody, wanting to keep your story, wanting to talk about it all the time, to just let's not talk about it. It's just so crazy. And I think you find your own common ground, and I think for me, I'm finally getting to my common ground, and it makes me really excited because I feel like it's totally sustainable. So anyway, 12 minutes in, and thanks for watching, thanks for supporting me, and I feel a few more topics coming on, and I'm going to make the time to discuss them because I've gotten really removed from these as you get out from your changes video and some life updates, and I really want to get into some topics that hit it for me and my own personal experiences to share with all of you. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.